Hello. So today
Hello.
I'm gonna interview Sebastian. Sebastian is a naturopath. So I wasn't very sure like what a naturopath is, so I went to check online and he's something like a herbalist. And so today we're gonna
Mhm,
interview him about his career.
mm.
Sebastian, can you share about your work? What do you do?
Okay, I am a practitioner in naturopathy and specialize in Western herbal medicine. So, in a very short sentence to describe is, um, I specialize in phytotherapy, which means Western herbal medicine, to support the person inner doctor holistically, to be able to support the healing of chronic diseases, promote healthy aging, and help people to create a healing centered life. So that's what the essence is. So basically, I see patients. So people come to us, they are open to holistic medicine to either treat or prevent health issues. Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
I started in 1999, in late 1999. With a very minimum kind of setup, and then slowly I built up because in those days, um, no awareness about this, So I was quite daring like, at the time, I didn't know what I was doing. Quite daring in the sense that I just started, and then yeah, in 1999, then until today.
Okay. Can you talk a bit about your educational background?
I actually came from an engineering background. I was from Singapore Poly. I got a diploma in Polytechnic, and then I got a bachelor's degree in business. Um, Later on, I worked in the industry for a few years in the electronic industry, in the engineering industry. Not so much in engineering, but more in materials and sales and marketing areas. And then later, I changed career to natural medicine gradually. So it
Mm,
was a very long process. Yeah.
mm. What
Mm.
what made you decide to become a naturopath?
Okay, I think it was a crisis in that sense. When I was working in the corporate world, uh, all I had in my mind was that, okay, this is the path I want to walk. So in my generation, it's very common for us to like strive to work in MNC, big company, climb the ladder, that kind of thing in my generation. And so when I started to work in a big company, big American MNC, I was very happy with it. I was, I could say that I was very hardworking. I climbed from supervisor, I climbed to material, then I climbed to sales and marketing. So I thought my life would be like that. Then I strive to work very hard. I get another degree and things like that. And then, so the bosses were very good at times. So I thought that was my path, my life is set like this. Then what happened was that in the midst of it, I had a very difficult boss. Okay, very, very difficult. And the job was very stressful. Even though my pay was good, I travel a lot to the US to do project planning, um and my pay was good and so on. And the company is great, they give us a lot of training and things like that. So I really grow, professionally. But I was not happy. I was very depressed. As I climbed a bit by bit, I worked more and more closely with top management. So so every month I was very stressful because I had to present the sales figure and things like that. But that's not the point. The point is that there were a lot of politics. So I couldn't handle the politics. I'm the kind of guy that I can work very hard, but I'm not politically savvy, type of person. I work very hard. I'm a very dedicated worker, but I couldn't handle that. So I was very, very stressful. So there was a period of time I even uh, was on antidepressant drugs, and so because I was so stressful. So I started to to ponder. I became a bit more prayerful. I started to kneel down, and every day I pray, what is really my path? What is really what I really meant to do, Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So because every day going to office, like going to the wall, really, like going to the wall. Every night I work until like 8, 9 o'clock. So much so that my elderly father asked me, what kind of job you were doing, how come you were so late one every night? And I still remember there was one evening I worked until Saturday, I
Mm.
worked until the security guard had to come to the office and say, what are you doing here? I'm
Mm.
still working, at 12 midnight, you know. So so it started from there, and then it started to open up. Some ideas came to me to open up myself to other field.
Mm.
Yes, that's how it started. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Was there any trigger, anything that inspired to want to go down this line of like natural
Yeah.
natural herbs? Yes.
So it was a process. So after that, I pray and meditate, and then the idea came to me that I don't know how the idea came to me. That I actually went to learn fashion makeup.
What? Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. And I was thinking at the time, because all the time I'm engineering, right?
Ah.
Engineering, engineering stuff, right? So I thought maybe it's a good opportunity for me to explore any 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 sports in my life that I've not discovered, any talent in my life that I've not discovered. Because all the time I'm engineering and doing sales, that kind of corporate thing. Yeah. So I went to do something that entirely different and see what is hidden in me. So I learned fashion makeup, and honestly, it was very awkward, with the time when I went to learn. But when I started to learn about it, and I was not good in art, I never interested in creativity, that kind of stuff. But then I realized one thing when I started to do makeup is that I realized I have a talent for the hands.
Mm.
I can do the makeup, touch the person's face with um with a healing touch. It's 很快上手 Chinese would say.
Mm.
I can do that. So I know I have a little bit of talent on that. So after that, everything came fall into place. After that, it happened that my own sister, she had an early retirement. So
Mm.
she loved art and she loved beauty, ladies. So she went to learn beauty therapy. And she told the teacher, say, hey, my brother loved to do makeup, you want to teach him further. So I went to see this teacher, and then this teacher explained to me, she said, makeup is very limited. You only do makeup, you must learn everything. He said, I don't know why she knew about it. She said, one day maybe you'll be doing your own business, you manage your own beautician, things like that. So you should learn everything, including body massage, facial, everything. So I really took up her course. I really took up her course and I learned. And I realized that my talent gradually I realized my where my talent lies. I could easily do facial easily. Until today, I can do it. I can I can do body massage easily, right? I could learn all these things and I'm very happy about it. But I realized what was the happiness behind it is I love to see people get well. Like when you do massage facial, people are very happy, very relaxed. I like that kind of feeling, oh, people get better. That was a gear of it, not so much of the beauty thing. And it gave me confidence because out of 30 over students in the class, two guys only, all ladies, I came up runner up, in the class. The top third, three students in the class, both practical and theory. So after that, I became more interested. And this teacher was very good. She explained to me, she said, you are a guy. Maybe you should learn something more medical. So you see, one teacher lead to another. And she said, why don't you try aromatherapy? So I went to learn again. So I followed the voices. I went to learn aromatherapy. So aromatherapy is a little bit more medical, more clinical, right? So I went to learn, you know. So after that, I learned and I done very well in that. And then after that, I went into um, naturopathy. Yeah, and it was actually also another teacher that sort of gave me that trigger to learn it. You know, but the grand finale, because I was along the process, I was still working in another company, but fortunately, it was very good because subsequently the company I work with, right, they're very relaxing, you know. Not like the previous company was so stressed. So I have all the time in the world to learn, right? Part-time and all this. So I did a bit of part-time work in this. But the final decision to go into it, even though I don't know whether it's going to make a living, you know, was there was one time my friend from their organization, they always deal with natural health and all this. He organized a retreat to Malaysia, and he asked me to conduct a workshop in massage in this retreat program. So I went. So I did the workshop and so on. So during that 3-4 days in the organic farm, we were led by the farmer and then introduced to the herbs, the plant, the trees. So we're walking in the farm and so on, you know. Then suddenly I realized I have this deep feeling of happiness and inner peace. And I realized, oh, you know, there's so much medicine around us that the creator had given to us. How come we don't realize it? How come we didn't know about it? You know, so much beauty in it. You know, so I was very touched by that feeling. You know, so now I know, if you believe it or not, I know it's that the nature is calling me actually. It's like they're calling you. You know, that's the spirit of nature is calling me. You know, and then so during the session where we're supposed to give our feedback and all this thing, for the first time I started crying, you know. For the first time I stood up and I gave my feedback and I wept, you know, actually, because I was so touched by that. So from there onwards, I decided to go full time into this area, even though I didn't know whether I can make a living. Yeah. So and then subsequently I got hired by a company that deal with holistic health, and I got a good job. But you know, office is still office now. There are still a lot of politics. There are many things that follow up lah. Then my dad was not very well and things like that. You know. Then I decided to spend more time with him because yeah, I know what it was like because I um, I deal with my mom's case before, lung cancer at the time. You know.
Yes.
So I knew what will come next. You know. So I thought, never mind, I work part-time to spend more time with him. You know. And then a student of mine actually, a student of mine said, why don't you start your own business? Yeah, so that's how it started. And I didn't have much money at the time. She was the one who helped me. She was the one to help me to kickstart the whole thing. Yeah, so that's how I started.
So
And of
that
course,
was
next few years
1990.
tough lah.
You started in 1999, you mentioned. That was when you started the business.
Yeah, yeah. I started business in 1999. Then 1 month later, my father was hospitalized. So practically the whole month, I was up and down in the hospital. I didn't do much business, and the business was no good, of course, because it first started, right? And then uh, in those days, there were no social media, nothing. Definitely, I have no money to go and spend to advertise and all this, you know. So really, entirely rely on friends and word of mouth. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So you've done this for so long, right? At which point did you see that it become like financially sustainable for you?
Um, it's quite relative in a sense
Mm.
because when I first started in 1999, I didn't draw a salary. Okay. In fact, I didn't draw a salary.
Mm.
Only in 2004, my a friend, now he's my business partner,
Mm,
and another friend, uh, they came together and asked me to set up a new company, a private limited company together.
mm.
So in 2004, we moved out of the office in Chinatown and we moved to Trust Street. So I started Sebastian Liew Center Private Limited in 2004, right? So at that time, it was still like not really fantastic, you know. I would say it's sustainable in a sense because I live a very simple life,
Good.
not because it's so that's why I say it's relative. If you are a spender, definitely you cannot survive. But my father had passed away, my mom passed away, so I didn't have the burden, you know, of supporting the family. So I
Mm,
was alone, right? So in the sense that I led a very simple life. I used to drive a company car, and so I gave up everything, you know. Yeah, so I just live a very simple life, and because of that, it was sustainable for me. But honestly, yeah, I had a very very low salary. Yeah, but
How
I
about
guess 2004 was a turning point, or 2005 or 2006, I can't remember, that
mm,
I started to treat children.
mm,
So the clientele base increased after that. So people got to know it. You know, some mothers are very concerned about the children, right? Then they have very good word of mouth, right? Right, the mothers, right?
mm,
So yeah, that's how I guess that was the turning point also lah. Yeah.
got it. How about now? What would you say is like your income like? You can share a range, that's fine. Yeah.
My income, like I draw a very low salary basically,
Mm,
right? I mainly get the returns from my profit, you know, and dividend and so on. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Can you walk us through a day in your life?
Oh, a day in my life. Oh,
Mm,
very simple only. Yeah. I every morning I go to my office around 9 a.m. Okay. So we have all the patient appointment. So I see the patient. And then during spare time, because we have our own range of products, I will think of formulas. I will spend time, let's say there are no patient, I will spend time to study some of the very complex case, to do research work and things like that. And then I also started maybe like 2 years already, 2, 3 years, maybe before COVID, I think. Yeah. Started to do some social media, more social media now. So I'm on TikTok, I'm on Telegram private channel. I just started Spotify
wow.
podcast to interview my patient's story. So now I do a little bit of more social media. But most of the time I'm spending time creating formulas, thinking of the formulas that I have in my project. I'm also uh, relooking at those complicated cases in my practice, see what else can I help the person. For example, autoimmune disease, cancer, you know, or some emotional issue, things like that. So what are the ways that I can help for the patient? So I go and research on that. And so I spend a lot of time on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So we go and talk about your business now. Uh,
Mhm.
how do you attract clients and retain them?
Okay, how do I attract clients? Um, I won't say I attract clients, but I would say I try to develop myself. I try to um, develop myself holistically myself, and I try to educate the public on natural medicine. So all the time, I do a lot of education. So I love to write. After I wrote the first book in 2013, I used not to like writing, okay, but because of the book, I started to love to write. So my writing of posts in my social media channel and things like that, I enjoy doing it. So they are part of the education initiative to educate the people about what phytotherapy can do and so on. Okay, so in the sense, I believe when people are more aware of it, they want to inquire. So it sort of attract them to our practice, to our business. But more importantly is the after. So when they come, um, our one of the values in our company is care. And when we say care, it's more than just good service. So we provide the best service as we can, a lot of follow-up, a lot of educating the person, and then the service, the after service support. I think that's very important, after service support. And also in our attitude as well. So I would say the practice is mainly based on the values that we have, the 4 values that we have, right? Um, Care, competence, conscious living. We are also involved with overseas charity project. So every year we have a symposium to raise fund for the school in Nepal. So that kind of value system we incorporate into our service and relationship with the client or the patient. So I believe because of the care, because of the good service support, um, uh, we tend to retain the client, right? It's like for life like that, you know. Then after that, we have many family clients. That means the husband, wife, the children, everyone is seeing us, you know. Yeah.
Okay, great. What are the main tools you use for work?
Main tools
Mm.
is for my work.
Mm.
What kind of tools?
Tools that support your day-to-day activities at work.
The tools that support my day-to-day work. Um, well, of course, the tools are like our internal customer relation system, all right, which we have sort of make a change to this system recently. And then we have the social media channel. So these are the tools. But if you say the tools to see the patient, I don't use a lot of machine. I don't use machine at all, actually. Right? I know some naturopath, they like to do tests and this test, that kind of thing, you know. But my practice is mainly observation and using the question technique to look at the pattern. So it's really our skills to analyze pattern. All right? It's like analyze the weather like that. You look at the weather, they say, hey, think it's going to rain, you know, right? So you know the pattern. So in the sense that when I look at the patient, it's like looking at the weather. Right? So the pattern, and of course we use traditional tools as well. It's like TCM like that also. We look at, we do tongue diagnosis, you know, pulse reading, um, and then we analyze the tissue state of the person. This is a Western herbal medicine concept, right? To analyze the person's tissue state, then we know, okay, what kind of herbs, what kind of remedies are more suitable for this person. And then we create a protocol for it. So in the protocol, we have a prescription sheet that we use in Google. So Google actually help us a lot. Google Cloud and all this, it really help us a lot to these tools to create all the prescription protocol for them. Yeah. Very simple, you know. Yeah. Not very complicated.
It's interesting. From a normal person's point of view, right? That is quite surprising to hear.
Yeah.
Because they think that, you know, you have like a list of the different herbs, and then you have like a whole like database and
Uh-huh.
all these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. We have a lot of herbs. We have 80 over type of herbs in my clinical practice.
Wow. Okay. What would you say is your biggest business struggle?
I would say it's more on the psycho-spiritual aspect, the struggle. The struggle is the challenge, I would say. The challenge is that I learned in my early days, especially, and which often I've forgotten, you know, is to know how to wait. To know how to wait and be very patient. Because if I at that time it was transformative for me, because before that I worked for the MNC, right? So everything is about deadline, you know, everything about target, you know, stuff like that. But when I go into business, I realized that I couldn't use that kind of same way of working, My my transformation of my attitude came because of that few years of like uh struggling with the business. I learned how to focus one person at a time.
Mm.
Not like, oh, how much uh look at the revenue every month and then get worried about it, like not very good, doesn't hit my target and this. So much so that I learned to give up all these ideas. I don't even look at my revenue. I just look at my bank account and say, okay, do I have the money to spend? That's all only. Yeah. Until today, I still do the same. Yeah.
Okay.
I I focus on the service and care for the patient and the customer. That's all. Maybe may not bring me big money, but I'm happier. And also from my 20-year experience, I found this is better than worry about numbers, worry about making money. More like provide the best service and care for the person, and then the business will come by itself. This is
Mm.
what I learned. And I need to learn how to wait, and I need to learn how to never give up. Yeah. I think the one lesson I really learned in my business journey is perseverance. Even if I have the money, to set up and all this thing, right? I don't think I will make it, if I don't persevere. If I give up, there's so many disappointment. Like people don't want to listen to you, or maybe they have a different attitude. People disappoint you, things like that. Yeah. But if I don't keep my mission in mind, the path that I've chosen, I would have given up long, long time ago. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes, that's interesting.
Mm. Yeah.
Can you share the most helpful books or podcasts or any person of influence, any
Mhm.
resources that greatly influence your work?
I think that one book that really helped me was the book I read many years ago. That um, was it Stephen Covey, right? It was Seven Habits of Effective People.
Mm.
Yeah, that one sentence actually helps me begin the end in mind. Yeah, that book helped me a lot in my journey. Yes, what I really want, what I'm meant to do. You know. Mm.
Wow. Have you experienced any
Mm.
failure that set you up for later success?
Failure.
Yeah. So have you experienced a failure that
Mm-hmm.
you that helped you to discover something successful? I know it's
Successful.
a bit weird
Yeah, yeah,
question. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, no, no, it's not weird. I had many times I actually failed.
Mm.
Um, for example, because I'm working more with one-to-one client, most of the time for the many years, the one that I fail many times is that I fail to help the person for their condition. For example, let's say cancer patient, that I couldn't help them. That it was too late to help them. So in the beginning, I felt very disappointed. I say, oh, why didn't I able to help? Um, or maybe is I always blame myself, even though now people tell me, no, it's not your fault, because he or she doesn't want to listen, all right. And then, but you see, I blame myself, I didn't do a good job and things like that. But I have learned from there. These are the little failures I have, and I learned from it in a sense that it's very difficult. I learned the fact that everybody have their own path to walk. I can do so much, but I need to learn how to let go.
Mm.
I cannot like keep nagging you, and
Mm.
say, why don't you listen to me? I told you this is good for you, things like that, I don't do that anymore. But I found that this is better for both sides.
Mm. Mm.
Better for it. the it's not so much for the other person, it's more for me that I need to learn how to let go and let the process flow and let the whole thing flow by itself.
Mm,
Yeah. So this is something that is more psycho spiritual for me, is that I need to learn how to let go
okay.
and let the flow of life, if it's meant to be like that, then it's meant to be like that.
Okay.
Don't try to be in control. Yeah, I think the word is don't try to be in control in everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So, have are there any bad recommendations you hear in your profession?
Back that means people don't like my service, is it? Something like that, is
No,
it?
it's more like in your line of work, right? Have you heard
Yeah.
anything that you consider is bad advice, whether for your business or for your patients?
Um, okay. Bad advice. Um, the 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 kind of, I guess, is for me, for myself, is along the way in my journey, I had people come to me to say, oh, let's collaborate and things like that. Okay. And sometimes, we are not perfect. Sometimes we have that lower self there, that, oh, maybe I can collaborate with him, then we can grow the business and things like that. But I've forgotten to take into consideration that whether our values gel or not, you know, whether the values match or not. And also to take time to develop that relationship. Okay. So the advice given by people sometimes is, oh, Bo, can work together, he's in this industry and you can tap on his market and things like that. So it's very technical, right? Everything looks good, isn't it? Yeah. So I was tempted to, like, oh yeah, from my this left brain, right? The left brain thinking, the logical brain thinking is that yeah, it makes sense, right? To tap on them, to collaborate, to maybe help improve my business and things like that, right? But I realized it didn't work long. It didn't work, and then he was not happy about it. Okay. So I learned from the process is that to develop relationship first, to know each other better, to know whether our values are synchronized, then we can work together. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
okay, great.
Mm,
Now we move on to your mental and emotional state
mhm.
as a
Wow.
solopreneur.
Okay. Mm.
What do you enjoy most about your work?
Okay, my work. Um, my work, the one that really I enjoy most is when the client or the patient come and tells me that something like recently one client came to me. She said she came back for follow-up. She had this constant earwax flowing, she went to do the ENT checkup and things like that, and apply some medication and all this, but it didn't help. So when I looked at her and did a case, I found that I have an intuition that her case is because of gallbladder. The gallbladder is not digesting, uh, not working at optimum to digest. So I worked on her, and it was very simple. It's not something very complicated. I give her very simple remedies only, and she was very surprised that it went away. And even though she didn't take my ear drop, uh, it didn't come back anymore. And that day she sat down. She was a very quiet lady. She said, I was wondering, so amazing, this thing so simple and it works. And then ENT also couldn't help. So this is what bring me joy, that it's like aha, like. And the other time, one lady also, she came 6 months ago. She had an ovarian cyst, and then the doctor said, let's monitor, don't operate first. So she came to me. I also give her very simple remedies. I didn't give her a lot of supplements and things like that. And I give her a holistic protocol. And recently she came back to me. She said, the doctor said my 5 cm cyst went away. And she was very, very happy. Yeah. So this is what bring me most joy. Yeah, in my work. Yeah,
That's so amazing.
yeah,
This,
yeah.
sorry, this ovarian cyst, now I'm curious. So
Mm.
it was just like some remedies that she take to
Consume.
consume to
Yeah,
get rid of it. That's
yeah.
all.
That's all. But of course, when we do naturopathy, it's always very holistic. So we look at your lifestyle, your diet, we adjust a little bit. Then her own stress level also. So I give her liver herbs and hormonal balancing herbs to balance the hormone. So that's why we always say your inner doctor. You when you balance I just spoke to a patient yesterday. I say it's give you an example, like let's say you look at the stream or the river, if it's choked with rubbish, then the water cannot flow, right? So our role is not to make the river flow, our role is to take out all the rubbish so that the water will flow, isn't it? The same thing with the body. Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Am I right to say that if you had two patients and they both have ovarian cyst, right? But
Mm.
because of their lifestyle,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
treatment that you give them might be different.
Yes, it may be different. So even the herbs we choose, that's why we need to look at the person tissue type. We call it tissue type.
I
So
see.
for example, there are 10 herbs that are good for your liver, for example. How do you know which one is good for you? Right? So that's where the customization comes in.
Wow, that's so
Mm,
interesting.
yeah,
Okay. Um, what would you say is your key to success?
it's my passion. My passion, my love for what I do. Uh, I can be very crazy, or even when I nowadays I mentioned to you just now, because of early days where I had to give up my corporate goodies, like
Mm.
driving. So until today I don't drive, even though I can afford a car. I stay with that value of living a simple life. I promise to God, actually. I say, let me lead a simple life, even though maybe financially I'm okay, you know. So, in a sense that when I take the MRT, even in the MRT, I'm reading a book. I don't read the handphone. I read the book. The book is to help me to understand further how to help the person. So I'm continuous learning. So I believe my key to my success is the care, the values, the care. I always try to improve my knowledge and experience continuously, even though people think that, oh, you know so much already. No, I say no. No, looking at the person's body, the person's health is like studying the universe, studying nature. It's like you study a plant. You think study a plant so easy? Yeah? Study a plant is like study the universe. There's no end to learning. So until today, I'm still learning. Yeah, and that's what um maybe helped me to be at the forefront. Continuous learning, passion to help, um, and the care as best as I can. Yeah. Mhm.
Wow, amazing. When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused,
Mhm.
what do you do?
Actually, I pray. I pray and meditate. Yeah, I try to stay very grounded. Grounded means I try to be very grounded and not to be disturbed by what is going on outside.
Mm,
And I enter into myself and I go one step further to ask for guidance. I
mm,
always I always find this helps me a lot.
mm,
And best if I can, I go into nature, go into the garden, go into the wood plants where I be more calm. Then I keep asking for guidance, and many times it comes. As long as my intention is good. Yeah.
wow. How do you keep yourself motivated?
Oh, how do I keep myself motivated? Mm, I believe there's nothing in particular that keep me motivated in the sense, but I think it's more like an inner belief system. So the inner belief system is that I believe I have a role to play. I have a role, maybe a small role, to play to help people to live a better life. So that belief system motivates me. That means I have a place in this life. So I don't come by mistake.
Yes.
So that is something very internal
Yes.
that keeps me going. Yeah.
Yes. That's okay. Now
Mm.
we are moving close to the end of the interview.
Mm.
Uh, do you see how do you see the future of your business?
Okay. Wow, that's a very big question.
Yeah, what do you see?
I, th- I think from what I experienced, I think I qualified to say that because I started in 1999, right? I found there's a lot of potential, but it all depends also on outside environment as well. I've seen more and more people, in fact, the younger generation, they are very knowledgeable with all the social media and things like that, much more flexible and more open to new ideas, unlike maybe my generation, all right? But I was a bit weird in the sense in those days I was already very flexible. Maybe no choice or what lah. Maybe some trigger factor, yeah, as what I explained. I believe more and more people are open to alternative and natural way of healing themselves, and also ideas that synergize with the idea of um, the environment and the eco concept. Because something that doesn't damage the environment, something that's gentle on the body, a philosophy that really helps you to have a fuller life, you can actually find in naturopathy and the holistic medicine because it's holistic, you see. So
Yes.
it's body, mind, and soul, you see. So it's you see. So I realize there are more and more people aware of it. Uh, the only thing is that there are not enough awareness, right? So I try to do my best, to create this awareness. So I see a lot of potential in the market, and also depends on what the environment will be like. The government direction over this field. Our country is still. I know they know, but then I they are not fully opening up yet.
Mm,
I know they are aware of it. Yeah,
mm,
I've talked to them before,
mm,
but we don't have the courage to open up fast enough
mm.
compare with other countries. There's something very sad for Singapore because
Mm.
Singapore is a cosmopolitan society, very advanced country, but we tend to have the mentality that we don't want to think out of the box. We want to be very safe. But we had to explore possibilities that there are other ways to heal, to be more healthy. It's not only one way. And and if they can overcome this barrier, right? This field will grow. Yeah, that's what I told a younger practitioner nowadays. We have younger practitioner, like my own co-naturopath. He was my patient. He was a younger man at the time, just graduated from NUS. So he had a medical condition, and I helped him to overcome it. Right, for 3 years he was on painkiller and things like that. And then I recently met another young man, worked in the public sector. He got very serious eczema condition and couldn't no doctor could help him. So later on he tried naturopathy, it helped him. So he went to Australia and studied. So came back, he now working as a naturopath. So
Wow.
I could see slowly the this industry will grow.
Yes. May
Yeah.
I know your age now, if you don't mind sharing?
Oh no my, yes, I'm very proud of it. 61.
Yes. And because when I first met you, right, my
Yeah.
first question was like, is your black hair, is it real?
Real. I actually got white hair. It's just hidden inside of me. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because usually people at this age, they start the hair will start to turn white.
Yeah. Have. Just that it's hidden inside. Yeah.
Okay, what would be your advice for other solopreneurs who want to get started or are just starting out?
uh, I think number 1, you need to really have a passion for what you do. And that passion is not just about, oh, I'm interested in computer, so this is my passion. But how does that passion are able to help others to have a better life? That means how does your passion enable you to love? And when you have that passion, that kind of passion, no obstacle will overcome you, because this help you to have happiness also in your life, not only to earn a living, but your own happiness. So that loving passion for what you choose to do. And number two, I believe, is perseverance. That means don't give up. There will be a lot of failure, honestly. I fail many times. I feel like giving up. Many times I really feel like giving up. I say, why am I doing this? Can I go back to corporate life and earn a better salary? All right. But something inside kept me going. And that is that loving passion. Love, believe what I do that can help other people. So it may not be medical healthcare, it may be other things, that also can help people to have a better life and perseverance. And the third one is I learned a very hard way, and that is to know how to build relationship, genuine relationship with others. Not just stay in your own four wall, and then don't need anyone. But we need to have to know how to develop good relationship with your clients, with your customers, and with your suppliers. All these are very important. Yeah, not just because you're good at what you do. Yeah, yeah. So this
Yes.
is my advice.
Okay, thanks for that. Is there anything you would like to offer to the audience? Anything about your business? Any kind
Mhm.
of product services you want to talk about?
Oh, okay. Well, basically my practice, phytotherapy. Actually, the word phytotherapy means science-based herbal medicine, right? But because it was started in the Western country, so we call it Western herbal medicine. But nowadays, phytotherapy encompass any herbs that is evidence-based. So it can be Eastern, it can be Western, right? So my work here is, I found from the many years of experience, I can confidently say I there are many modalities, all right? So this is one of the modality that we should be open up to this form of therapy to help you not only to treat any diseases or help in any diseases, but also to promote healthy aging, to promote wellness. And I believe preventive health is important. So when we talk about preventive health, it doesn't mean only diet and exercise, which are good. I'm not saying they are not good. They are good, but it's more than that. It's actually also into your emotion, into your spirit level as well. And that's what I do most of the time. So when I treat a person, I don't look at the person or presenting as, oh, the person got asthma, So I say, oh, and then I read up on what is medically, what is asthma, and I treat asthma. That's all. No, I don't stop there. I actually want the person to have optimal health, to have transformation of their inner life as well, so that their attitude, the perception of life change and be more transformed to be better. Okay, so so that's how we work on this holistic medicine thing. And the other thing is that um uh I just turned 61. I told myself that I will dedicate more to teaching. So this year we have our annual symposium on November 16. Uh, we always have an annual symposium to raise funds for a school for poor children in Nepal. So we had three speakers this year. One of them actually is a medical doctor who actually converted to natural medicine. Right? And next year, I'm going to develop a so-called a school to teach a professional herbal consultant course. So I like to teach this subject for the years to come. So I'll be focusing on teaching as well. And also, through the years, I have come across experience, um, formulation of herbs that work in various kind of condition. So I had developed a series of product under the brand name of Live to Life, and we are also looking for collaborators to expand to ASEAN. Now we are already in Hong Kong and a little bit in China now.
Mm.
Uh,
What
we like
kind of
to go to Philippines. Yeah.
what kind of connections are you looking for in relation to?
Connection. I'm open to any, at the moment, Hong Kong, we have agent that help us promote our products to not so much of retail shop. Sorry, there are some retail shop, but also to some business chain like TCM clinic or spa. Uh,
Okay.
so in Hong Kong, we have an agent that help us in this one. So other countries, I'm also looking for similar agent. And as I explained previously, um, I don't work with any agent just because, oh, I have a big network, you can tap on my network and help them. I like to understand whether your values synchronize or not. The relationship synchronized. So is it if both sides we have more like a more healing centered kind of attitude, then I can work with that person to promote the products there. Now the product is actually secondary. It's more like because my experience is actually infused into the products. So
Mm.
the product is a way for me to teach the subject.
Mm.
And then after that you walk your own path. Up to you,
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Great. Finally, where can we go to learn about your business? So you can share your website or your social media
Yeah.
accounts.
Okay. My website is Leaf, Leaf. The leaf plant, the leaf. One word, life, Life .com.sg. And this website, this name actually came from my first book called Leaf to Life, published in 2013. If you're interested in TikTok, I'm in TikTok as well. It's only one word, Dr. Sebastian Liew in TikTok. I'm also in Facebook. Facebook is Live to Life. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.